Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of the H&H Americas 2025. The show floor is now open and packed with possibilities. Continue exploring with 558 exhibitors, 27 countries, 310 classes, main stage events, Fashion Boulevard, cosplay, art and quilt exhibits, product showcases, and more. Please join us tonight at H&H America's After Dark, presented by Janome at Joe's Live, starting at 6:45. Tickets are still available online, and we cannot wait to see you there.
Good morning, everybody. It's Maria from Creative Riz, and as you just heard, we are at H&H in Chicago today. This is day 2 for us, so I feel like I've gotten 2 good nights of sleep, and I had a great breakfast this morning. We are ready to go. So the topic today is our new Hunter Star trim tool from Deb Heatherly. And if you've worked with any of her rulers, you know that you're going to get a QR code that you can scan, and it will take you right to our website so you can see the companion patterns and the instructions. The instructions come wrapped around the edge of the ruler, so you get all the things that you need to make a unit just like this. It's actually 4 units sewn together to create that star design in the middle, which is that Hunter Star. So, let me show you how this one works. You're going to start with squares and rectangles. So I've got a rectangle here that I'm going to trim for the anvil in the middle. And I've got a few more pieces to trim for the star points. But I'm going to have Chessa, can you angle it down here?
Yeah.
Or do I need to tip
Nope,
the table?
I got you.
Okay. On the ruler, you're going to see markings A, B, and C, A, B, and C. Those refer to the 3 different sized units you can make of the Hunter Star with this trim tool. You'll also get the cutting chart for all of the parts, but let me show you how slick and easy it is to use this. I'm making block C, which is the biggest one. So Chessa can tip you down to see on the table here. Or just hold it because that's easier. I've laid that 2.5 inch strip down underneath the tool. I'm lining it up on the B dotted line. This just happens to hit perfect for this piece, but not all of them will. And this is what I'm going to trim off. I'm going to turn it around so I can cut it safely though. We'll do this side first. B comes all the way out here to the outer edge. I mean C. A, B, C. C comes all the way to the outer edge. If I were doing B, it would come to this dotted line, and A would be to this one. So you want to watch and do the one that is the right size for your strips. But for C, here we go. And then I'm going to do the other side, same way. Sometimes I set it up on this mat and I rotate it around for safe cutting. There's that anvil that goes in the middle of the star points. These I've already trimmed, and look how they're going to fit together. Because those tips are knocked off, you're going to get this, just like a puzzle piece, with no extra tails hanging out to sew those together in order to make the strip that you need for the center of your units. When they're sewn together, they're going to look like this. You need one set for a traditional block, which is gray in the middle, prints on the outside, and then one that's the opposite. And then you need a triangle and another triangle, and you see how they match? I've got print and print, gray and gray, and that's to give you a block like this when you're finished. So this is sewn together and trimmed, but let me show you how the trimming works too, because that's important. And let me tell you, the first few I put together, I thought, this does not, I don't know what's going to happen here because that looks pretty funny. But look at how slick this goes. Here's those markings for A, B, and C. Because I'm doing that biggest block, I want C to line up in the middle of this little angle on both sides. This long line should line up on your seam line. So sometimes I got to give it a little finagling, and I'm going to trim 2 sides right here. rotate this around. I think I left myself, oh, sorry about the mic. I should be a little bit further forward for that.
We're working with limited space.
I am, but that's okay. And talking through the points instead of just doing them is a whole nother ball game too. But here's going to be my second cut, and you can see the edge of the block lines up on the B dotted line up here, the raw edge over here. Trim those remaining two sides. And there's my quilt block. Now, if I put 4 of them together, you're going to get gray print, gray print, gray print, and gray print. And there is your stars right there. And you can see out in the corners, here's the next star that's going to form, and the next star that's going to get put together, etc. And if you put enough of them together, you get a nice quilt like this. Originally, these were done with 2 colors, so this would probably be white, this would be blue or green or red. But we have so many beautiful things at our disposal now that the quilts had a whole different look to them. I went for kind of a soft and cozy look, but then I got an idea for something else. So let me show you one more option. Clear the deck, make room for the next one. I have these great prints. So here's the same that I sewed before. And as I throw and bury them, I lose my, there it is. Remember how we did gray in the middle and 2 prints? So now I've got black in the middle and 2 prints. I'm going to continue and put black in the middle over here too, instead of swapping colors, and put 2 prints. These match kind of close, so I might play with that as I'm putting them together, but that's going to be the middle of my block. And then instead of doing gray on one side, I'm going to do black on both. And look at the difference in how that block looks compared to what I first showed you. So there's half and half. Good. Chess is holding the camera, so I'm dependent on her to make sure that we're showing correctly here. And sewn together, here's what these blocks are going to look like. So totally different from the first one that I showed you, but equally cool. And then watch what happens when I put 4 units together. Since I have some to play with, let's make sure we don't have the same colors together. Look at that. Now the star is the total focus of the quilt, and this background is just going to blend right in. And how fun is that? You could do white, you could do purple, whatever color you want for your background with coordinating prints. But these spoke to me when I saw them like a Mexican Mardi Gras, so that's what I went with. So that simple and that fun using the tool. You need to cut rectangles for the star points and that anvil in between, trimming them with these corners, and then follow the markings for whichever size unit you're making. It is as simple as that and super fun. Here is a sample of all the patterns that she has with us right now. This is Huntington. It makes a 73 by 73 inch quilt. This one's got sashing in between the blocks, so it has a really cool effect compared to just block on block. Ruby is a very new one. And if you follow the coloration on the back of the quilt, look at how cool that looks with the gray or a dark color kissing in the corners and then the lights on the opposite corners. This is the quilt that I just showed you. This guy, called Stars on Parade. And I'll tell you a little secret. I made the wrong size block. I made the biggest one thinking I'll pick a layout when I'm done, not thinking that this would make a smaller block. So the original pattern is 65 by 71. Mine is a little bit bigger because my blocks are bigger. So proof that you can take any of these designs, use a different size block that's called for on the tool, and come up with a larger or smaller quilt at will. Deb's calling this one Playing Favorites. She's using a different blue in every triangle, star point, and anvil in each unit. So it's all mixed up. It's not the same color in any one spot. If you want to use up a panel, this is called panel panache. Here's some of the units along the side to form this border and in the corners. So keeping those units separate, she's adding another triangle there to finish out the shape to create that border around the panel. Scattered Stars is the black version that I showed you on the table. Deb's used a white with polka dot on it and different colored star tips. I mixed my fabrics all up. She uses the same color on each star point in the same unit. Well, two different colors, but they're across from each other. I did not do that. I mixed mine all up because I like to do that. Mix the pot. This one is Floating Stars. It's the same as that Scattered Stars, only just a table runner. So if you only want to make a few, you might want to start with this one. And then there is Aquila, I think is how you pronounce it, or Akia, I'm not sure. Aquila, I think. Using 3 colors, which gives that star in the background a whole different look. Red in the star points and blue in the anvil and the triangles. And then it stands out in a different way than the other versions. This one's called 3 Color Fun. So she's got pink in the star points, blue in the anvils, and the same white in the background across there. A couple little borders and you're done. For Halloween, this is so cute. 2 different fabrics for the stars, and then this cute pumpkin border out there. So you could do it for any season that you wanted to, any color combination. And then last but not least, so much fun. So here is my black version again, but in white. And she's adding some accents in between and some buttons on there and some rickrack. And here's 3 units right here to form that corner, 4 to form the center, some borders, and ta-da, you're done. So, thank you so much for coming to visit today. If you're here at the booth and you want to see this in person, or you've got questions, please come visit. You're going to get an icon that shows the block, a QR code that you can scan to get more information. If you lose the instructions, you'll find them with this QR code right on our website. You get the grip like all of our other rulers do, and great step-by-step instructions. So, cheers to everyone here at H&H. Have a great time. Do a lot of looking and shopping. There's really great things to see here this week. And be sure you stop by and say hi so we know you're here. See you guys.